This meeting is being recorded.
Got it. All right. Welcome, everyone. We've skipped a couple weeks because life has been wildly busy, both in the organization and all individually. So thank you guys for coming today to my sermon on practicing the art of detachment. And I was telling Jordan before everyone logged on that as I was writing my sermons, because I am not a person that can just wing a sermon, I have to write my stuff and then read it. As I was writing my sermon, I realized that I would need 5, 6, 10 hours to really dive into this practice and this philosophy. But what's cool about that is I have material for many more sermons. So we're going to get into it. And the topic for my sermon today came from clients and working with them, as all of my sermons tend to do. So many people kind of have attachment to the outcome of things based on, I don't even know, the way we were brought up as children a lot of the time. So the theme of needing to practice detachment and really cultivate that in our daily lives has been really big for the last few weeks, specifically in my client base. So I'm going to get into it. We're going to have this little talk, and then, as I always do, and as all of us always seem to do, we're going to go into a little guided meditation. So the art of detachment refers to the practice of consciously releasing our attachment to outcomes, to possessions and ideas. It's a way of living that allows us to let go of clinging and find freedom from the suffering that often accompanies attachment. Detachment involves recognizing that everything in life is impermanent and that attachment to external circumstances or possessions can lead to suffering. It's in the understanding that true happiness and contentment comes from within rather than relying on external factors. So by practicing detachment, we can really liberate ourselves from the constant fluctuations of life and find a sense of inner stability and peace. And there's this thing where people think that that detachment means avoiding or not caring, but it doesn't mean avoiding or renouncing the world or not caring. It really just allows us to engage fully in life while maintaining a sense of composure and non-attachment to outcome. So it enables us to embrace experiences and relationships without becoming overly dependent on them for our well-being. The practice of detachment has origins in various ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions from different parts of the world. And while it's hard to pinpoint a specific origin, detachment has been embraced and explored in different forms throughout history. One prominent tradition that emphasizes detachment is Buddhism, and the teachings of the Buddha focused on the impermanence of all things and the importance of releasing attachment to finding liberation from suffering. Buddhist teachings advocate non-attachment as a means to overcome the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Taoism, the concept of wu wei, or non-action, reflects a similar notion of detachment. Wu wei suggests that we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, allowing things to unfold without force or resistance, which for those of us who have control issues is very, very difficult. Detachment from desires and attachments is seen as a way to harmonize with the Tao, which is the underlying principle of the universe. In Stoicism, which is a school of philosophy that originated in ancient Greece, it also emphasizes the practice of detachment. So Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius believed that true happiness and tranquility could be achieved by detaching from external circumstances and focusing on developing inner virtue and resilience. So the art of detachment can be seen as a process of letting go, surrendering the need for control, again, which can be very, very, very difficult, and accepting things as they are. It involves recognizing the transient nature of all things and cultivating an attitude of non-identification, where our sense of self-worth is not dependent on external achievement or possession. Again, really difficult. Detachment empowers us to live in the present moment, to appreciate the beauty of life without being burdened by attachment or aversion. So cultivating the practice of detachment in our daily lives requires consistent effort and commitment to self-awareness. We start with self-reflection, And we begin by developing a greater understanding of our attachments. We observe our desires, our fears, and expectations without judgment, and reflect on the ways in which attachments may be causing suffering or limiting our freedom. And this is when I was writing this part, this is kind of where I was like, well, crap, like I really need to dig into this part a lot more. And so I will probably do a whole nother sermon on self-awareness, because a big part of my practice and my personal practice, as well as my professional practice, is embodiment. And in order to gain a level of self-awareness, we have to be living here in our bodies. So we also have to embrace impermanence. So recognizing the transient nature of all things and reflecting on the fact that everything in life is subject to change. We cannot control everything. And by accepting that impermanence, you can loosen your grip on attachments and find peace in the present moment. And this leads me to letting go of control, releasing the need to control every aspect of your life, and understanding that there are circumstances beyond your control, and that trying to force outcomes only leads to frustration and anxiety. I have a client who is working on detachment right now, and she is in the middle of wedding stuff. And she had this wildly long to-do list and was starting to get upset with herself that she wasn't getting everything on her to-do list done. I'm not choosing violence this morning, Jess. But she had this long to-do list, and she was getting, worked up about the fact that she wasn't getting a lot of things on her to-do list done. And I brought this perspective to her, and I said, well, how many things on that list require other people's action? And like 75% of her list required other people to call or other people to get something done. Because I mean, when you're having a wedding, like, yes, you can plan the wedding, but so many other people are involved in that planning. And so by bringing that perspective to her, it kind of allowed her to release the shame and guilt that she was feeling that her to-do list was not done, because you can't control when other people are going to call you up and be like, your flowers are ready, or, the park that you're having your wedding at is picking this. You just can't. So next is non-identification, detaching your sense of self-worth from external circumstances, achievements, or possessions, and recognizing that your true essence is beyond the attachments of your ego. So cultivating self-acceptance and embracing the inherent worth that exists within you. Practicing mindfulness. And mindfulness is such a big, broad umbrella. And that's another one. I was like, well, I need to do a whole 5 sermon series on practicing mindfulness. But engaging in mindful practices such as meditation or breath work or mindful awareness allows you to cultivate present moment awareness and allows you to observe your thoughts, emotions, and attachments without judgment. And maybe one of the hardest ones and one of the most important ones is seeking support and guidance, surrounding yourself with supportive communities, and seeking wisdom from like-minded individuals who value detachment, going to therapy, seeing a coach, doing group work, engaging in discussions, reading books, workshops on detachment or any kind of attachment issues that you may have really help you to deepen your understanding of your practice. But ultimately, the art of detachment offers us the opportunity to live with greater freedom and joy and inner peace, and it allows us to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience and an open heart, embracing the flow of existence while remaining anchored in our own true nature. And so now we're going to do a meditation that kind of allows us to detach from just one situation or individual. So I want you to find a quiet place where hopefully you're in. And anyone who's watching the replay, get yourself into a quiet place. And you can turn your camera off right now if you need to. I'm going to turn mine off. And I want you to make sure that you're in a position that allows your body to fully relax. You can adjust. You can lie down. And we're going to close your eyes. And if that's uncomfortable, you can just kind of gaze downward and take a deep breath, inhaling slowly and deeply, and then exhaling slowly, releasing any tension or stress from your body. And now bringing attention to the physical body. I want you to scan your body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. And as you become aware of these areas, consciously try to relax them, allowing your body to sink deeper into relaxation with each exhale. And once you feel that your body is fully relaxed, shifting your focus back to your breath and observing the natural rhythm of your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Pay attention to the sensation of the cool air entering your nostrils on the inhale and the warm air leaving your body on the exhale. As you continue to focus on your breath, bring to mind a person, a situation, or an object that you feel attached to. Allow the image of that or thought of this attachment to come into your awareness without judgment, acknowledging the emotions and sensations that arise within you as you think about this attachment. You're going to take some time now to explore the nature of your attachment, reflecting on how it affects your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Noticing any fears, insecurities, or dependencies that may be associated with this attachment. And observe the ways in which this attachment may be limiting your sense of freedom and causing you potential suffering. And now I want you to visualize this attachment as a golden thread or a chain that is connected to you. See it anchored within you, symbolizing the grip that it has on your being. And as you observe this attachment, recognize that it is not part of your true essence. Rather, it is something external that you have become attached to. And with this awareness, imagine yourself reaching out and gently loosening the grip of the golden thread. Visualize yourself untying the knots or unlocking the chains one by one, allowing the attachment to loosen and become less constrictive. Allowing yourself to feel the sensation of lightness and freedom as the grip of this attachment gradually diminishes. And as you let go of this attachment, repeat to yourself, I release all attachments that no longer serve me. I am free from the chains of this attachment. Allow this meaning to seep deeply into your consciousness. Now I want you to shift your attention back to your breath. Inhale deeply, filling your lungs with fresh, revitalizing air. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any leftover remnants of attachment that may still linger within you. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more and more detached and liberated from the burden of this attachment. As you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to the present moment. Observe the sounds around you, the sensation of your body, and any thoughts that may arise, allowing everything to come and go without clinging to any particular experience. In this state of detachment, you are free to fully experience life in the present moment. Embrace the impermanence of life and the ever-changing nature of the world around you, releasing the need to control or hold on to anything, and knowing that true peace comes from within and not from external sources. Remember, detachment is a practice that requires patience and self-compassion. So each time you engage in this practice, you strengthen your ability to let go and find liberation from attachment. And with regular practice, you will cultivate a deep sense of inner peace, contentment, and the ability to navigate life's changes and challenges with grace. I'm taking a few more moments to simply be, allowing yourself to bask in the stillness and freedom that this sense of detachment brings. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and allow yourself to bring this sense of detachment and inner peace with you as you navigate the world around you today. Hi. I had a fun experience while I was in there releasing all of my chains. My digestive system kicked in and started. I don't know if you guys could hear it because it was loud over here, but my stomach started gurgling, which is a beautiful nervous system response that your body is actually in a state of calm, rest and digest. It's one of the coolest things. I remember when I first started massage school and my APP teacher was talking and he was like, always listen for when their stomach starts to gurgle. They'll apologize and say, well, I ate today. But really that's your like your tell that their body is actually in a state of relaxation. And still 14 years later, I still am like, I listen for it. And I'm like, all right, we're good now. And then they end up falling asleep. But how are you guys feeling? How was that for you? Anyone?
It was relaxing.
Wonderful.
Good. Relaxing. Good. I'm glad it was relaxing. Detachment is not something that comes easy for anyone unless you grew up in like, I don't know, under a rock or with no trauma or, no external influences, no media. We get so subconsciously like glommed onto the outcome of situations. And so this is very much a practice, and I said it earlier, that needs to be done consistently with a lot of awareness. And even just being aware of the fact that you're doing it, attaching yourself to something, or being, I'm super petty and judgmental. That's just, Jess called me out yesterday. She was like, oh my God, Petty Nicole just came out. Like, and
it's usually Petty Jessica that comes out. So it's always nice when, when it's reciprocated.
Because I have spent a while like cultivating this kind of practice and in cultivating embodiment, I have learned to kind of harbor that, but every once in a while it creeps in and I'm just like, oh, so it's one of those things where even just being aware of it or having someone else be like, look what you're doing. And being able to be accountable and hold yourself accountable for the fact that you're even doing it is a huge first step, right? So even just being in a state of relaxation and in a state of presence, because that's the first step to becoming aware, is being in that present space where you're like, well, I'm relaxed now and I'm here. And so that's number one. So I'm glad you're relaxed, Gordon. That's important. Do we have a sermon lined up for next week? We don't.
Oh, we do.
We're not discussing that though.
It's top secret sermon next week.
Top secret sermon next week.
Mm-hmm.
Longer, much longer sermon next week too.
And later.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep teasing
details
that. Details to come.
So do we need to have a clearance to attend next week?
You need to bring an egg. Just a single egg.
One.
Mm-hmm. It'll be an excellent sermon.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
No eggs involved in this sermon.
When you guys were referencing pettiness, I thought to myself, that's your inner Tom. Petty.
Oh my God. Do you remember the meme that I sent you yesterday?
Yeah.
Petty Cemetery?
Yeah. Got jokes for days.
We do. We all got dad jokes over here. We're like,
I was about to say dad jokes for days. Is our donation link in the chat, Jordan? Even though it's
I'll
just
put it there right now.
For anyone watching the replay, please feel free to, if you feel inclined, to donate to our beautiful little free church and follow us on all of the social medias. Sign up for our mailing list. We have so many events coming up.
We do.
We just sent out a newsletter. There is an event tomorrow in Natick, Massachusetts, where our lovely Alita, who runs the ayahuasca ministry, is going to be doing a huge talk on plant medicine. Our wonderful minister, Michelle of Wicked.
I'm telling you.
Of Wellness Witch. Oh, Michelle, I love you. If you're watching this replay, I promise.
We do love you.
I'm going to see you later anyway, and I'm going to tell you what I did. So it's fine. I tell on myself because I hold myself accountable. But Michelle of Wellness Witch is doing a workshop, a multi-week workshop on eating for anxiety through like basically gene coding and epigenetics, which is great. And what else? And then Jess and I are holding a sound bath, which will be super fun.
Next Saturday, man.
Next Saturday.
Crazy.
Hint.
Soon.
So just a little hint.
We got
our next
one.
I just want to say thank you for this sermon today. Like, just for my own nature of attachment and detachment. And it's a practice. So it was great to come back, obviously, to your safe space of sermons here this Saturday to do this. Yeah, super helpful. Thank you. Especially like lately for me, it's been with money, always money. Really, that's my Achilles heel. And just recently, like there was like family sort of issues with money, which has been like a reoccurring pattern. So I've been just really struggling with that. So this would like, I know you know how much like I appreciate you all being here, but really thank you, especially today. So
love you, Felicia. Money attachment is real. And family stuff surrounding money attachment is very real, because and I mean, I'm done with my sermon, but whatever. We as human beings do not come into this world with much attachment other than to, like, I don't know, our mothers, if we're lucky. And so attachment is learned. And when the older you get, the more attachments you have. And so until you're able to cultivate that sense of awareness, you just keep building up these attachments to things, right? But again, you have this awareness, Felicia, which is really, really beautiful. And so just keeping that awareness and giving yourself grace. I say this to so many people all the time. It's just giving ourselves grace in these situations once we become aware, because we become aware of this awareness and then we're like, well, I should be over it. I should be done with it. I should be able to let it go. But letting it go is, again, a constant practice. And anyone who says that they've let something go and it's gone completely, it's lying.
Unless they're nefarious and they live in a very detached state all the time.
You mean
You have
dissociation?
to practice. Yeah, right. Fine line.
There is a difference
Non-attachment
between
and dissociation. Okay.
and dissociation. I had a client practicing detachment, and it came to be that she actually was not practicing detachment. She was just practicing the art of fuck you. And I was like, there's a big, huge difference. I was like, you can not give a fuck while also still giving a fuck about things, right? Like, and that's a whole nother one. I have so much material for sermons now. This is great. I'm
giving yourself grace. That sounds like a good one.
Giving yourself grace. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this because it helps me strengthen my own personal practice. And it allows me to be like, oh crap, like there are so many things that I can talk to because I have my own things with attachment as well. So let everyone enjoy the rest of this beautiful, beautiful, finally beautiful Saturday afternoon that we have not been having in New England with all of the rain, which we've needed the rain. Thank goodness we've gotten so much rain, but it's sunny and it's beautiful. So let me not keep you guys any longer. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.